trying to get the camera right. How's everyone today? Welcome, it's Saturday morning. I'm in Montauk, New York on vacation with my family. And as I promised, I wasn't gonna miss any days, 66 days to personal serenity and inner peace. My name is Mary Amy, and this is Signs of Light. We have so much to cover today. I wanted to cover some helpful healing suggestions to inner peace and personal serenity, and I wanted to talk about flat earthers, the flat earther movement, which I learned about in the last few days, and I'm excited to talk about it, and I'm sure you are too. Let me just say before we get to all that, I have a disclaimer. I am not a medical professional. I give suggestions to inner peace and personal serenity. My holistic modalities include I'm an intuitive wisdom coach, a Reiki master, and an ordained minister. You can find me at maryamyofficial.com. Now, bright light shines on us. Every thought is very powerful. We are all part of a whole. Your pain is my pain, and my pain is yours. Karma is a cycle of cause and effect. Now, the sacred knowledge I impart on you is to connect to a light source, engage with nature, and record your sleeping dreams for the universe to bring you to your ultimate destiny. You know, as I said, I started last Thursday, so I don't know how many days we're into the 66 days, but I will be coming to you, and let's just face it, I'm not stopping at 66 days. I will be around for a while, and I will stream, and I hope to share suggestions to inner peace. Now, why 66 days? Well, doing research I found, I always thought myself that it was 30 days to change your behavior and a habit, but as it turns out, research says it's 66 days to form new behavioral patterns. Now, how do we change and transform ourselves to have inner peace and personal serenity? Well, it begins with you. It's not an outside force, it's all interior. And I say, let's talk for a minute about love. It's about loving yourself, it's about loving others, and beyond those days that every little thing seems to be happening in the right direction for you, those are the days that we have to overcome, and the days that we aren't going well is when we have to work on our personal serenity. Now, if the weather, the company, the environment, and the energy of that moment is all working in the right direction, that's easy. It's the days that things are not going well and we feel like we have bad karma and bad luck. So we would like to change the pattern of energy that surrounds you. We all have energy patterns, and that's why it seems like we duplicate what happens to us. Maybe we seem to attract the same people. We seem to have the same situations over and over in our job or career, and that's because we all have an energy pattern, and it's difficult to adjust and transform your energy pattern. And how do you do that? With the sacred knowledge, which is light, nature, and dreams. And that's how we change it. We can bring good luck. We can bring good karma into our lives. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you transform yourself to happiness and goodness and light. Now, during those moments or hours or full days we feel like is nothing working out for us, it's those times it's harder for hope. Yet, it's those circumstances that matter the most. Long term, breaking an energy pattern takes discipline, write it out, and never give up. Long term, this will transform your life. For a chance, I suggest you close your eyes. Let's do this together. Let's close our eyes. And I'd like you to connect to your own personal serenity. What does that mean? First of all, let's let out a breath. And let's have stillness, which means that there's nothing going on around us. We have no technology on except maybe listening to this right now. And we just hear whatever sounds in the room and beyond the walls. And we let out a breath. Now what I'd like you to do is, I'd like you to imagine that you're inside your heart, and I'd like you to try to sense what it feels like inside of your heart. Is there love? Are you being blocked from feeling inside of your heart and what your own personal serenity is? Maybe you don't have serenity. Maybe you have a lot of chaos going on. So we're going to try to release any negativity, and we're going to replace it with light and love. So let go. And I don't know what you see inside your heart. Do you see, is it a certain color? Do you get a certain energy from your heart? Do you sense that you have love in your heart? Do you have negative energy in your heart, like emotions like anger, pain, sadness, or fear? And if you do, maybe talk it out. Maybe let it go. This is the first step. It's all about self-love. Because if you can love yourself, you can love others, and you can bring love into your life. And you're able to manifest whatever your dreams are. Okay, so you're inside of your heart, and let's just imagine we're inside of our heart, and let's imagine that it's pink around us. It's a ball of pink light, and we step inside that ball of pink light. And inside that ball of pink light, we feel safe, we feel happy, we feel joyful, and nothing else matters except how we feel. And as we're standing inside this ball of pink light in our heart, the light grows bigger and bigger and bigger. And as the light grows bigger, we're pushing out, we're letting out anything negative that's bothering us. Whether it's something someone said to you, some kind of pain you felt, a fear that you have, if you have anger, if you need to shout it out or cry it out. And so as this light grows bigger and bigger, it touches our flesh, our bones, and we embrace it, and we accept this beautiful, glowing pink light, ball of light that's growing inside of our heart. And we say we want love, and maybe we say it aloud. I want love in my life, and I love myself. I always say, I love myself, I accept myself. You can say it out loud. I love myself, I accept myself. And as this light grows bigger and bigger and bigger, we release more and more and more. And as we release, we see beautiful pieces of nature replace all of these negative thoughts and the darkness that's inside of ourselves. We see the most beautiful waterfall. We see rows and rows and fields of flowers. And we see vivid, bright colors. We see the blues and the yellows and the greens of nature. And we sense that we're more at peace. And we say, I love myself, I accept myself, one more time. Now this energy that we've accepted into our heart is pure and good because it's related to the elements of nature. And we say this matters, and this is important, and I want this in my life longer. And we stay in that moment, and we let out a sigh for all the previous moments. And we say, moving forward from this moment, things will be better, and I will be optimistic, and great opportunities will come to me, and my wishes will come true. And I believe in light. And I will count backwards, and we will open our eyes. 3, 2, 1. Well, thank you for joining me. Like I say, it's like a small little ball of light in our hand, and we just build on it. And little pieces, every single bit of light that we invite into our lives become a long stream of light, and hopefully the light wraps around us. And if the light wraps around us, then we will have good karma and good luck moving forward. Well, in the last few days I've been on vacation with my family, and And a member of my family who I adore and love and cherish, she mentioned to me, she said, well, Mary, you do all these conspiracy theories. What about the flat earthers? And I was like, oh my God, I haven't even touched on the flat earthers. So here I am, and I think it's time for us to talk about the flat earthers. I did not realize that this movement existed and how huge it was. Well, the flat earthers are people who believe that the earth is flat, and it's not based on scientific knowledge. They don't base their theories on scientific knowledge. There are some singular groups that are and there are people that are affiliated with larger groups. Is it a conspiracy theory? Well, the mainstream says it is. Where did this stem from? The original event of the flat earthers, from what I researched, was a founder in 1956. This is the original event. I always talk about original events. I talk about the original event of Bigfoot and the first sighting. I talk about the original event at Roswell, the crash of Roswell, and the alien abductees, which are Barney and Bill, oh, I can't remember, it'll come to me. Barney and Bill Hill. Anyway, so the original event took place in Dover, England, and it was Samuel Shenton. I always butcher names. And he was the founder of the International Flat Earth Research Society. So wait, where's that balloon? Okay, so here we go. Here is, we say that the earth is round, right? Well, the Flat Earth Society, which right now has 3,500 members and counting. I wonder how many there are out there from what I read and videos I watched this morning. There's a lot of people that are below the radar and they're flat earthers. There is what's called the flatearthsociety.org, and you can find it online. It's www.tfes.org. Now, is this a conspiracy theory, or is it fringe supporters, or a widespread belief? Michael Marshall, director of Good Thinking Society, said in Scientific American what they believe. He says, I quote, oh, I'm going to get a map so we can talk about. So this is the map that I could find in my house where I'm staying. So here's a map. See, this is flat, right? This is what the flat earthers believe. Everything's flat, and then everyone else believes round, right? Or so we think. So here's round, here's flat. Is this a conspiracy theory, fringe supporters, or widespread belief? So people would say, well, if it's the ground, is the earth is, an infinite plane in all directions that bisects reality and is accelerating upward at 9.8 meters. This is very scientific. Per second squared, and always has been since the days of time. You'd hit a problem, which would be the speed of light. Oh, here we go to light. I'm all about light. You can't go fast. The speed of light. So people don't have a gotcha for this. So does the speed of light break the flat earthers theory? And so the people who were putting forth esoteric, off the wall, look at Einstein's theory of relativity, as you approach speed of light time itself, it slows down, and the maths in their head works back out again. So yes, this is a quote from Scientific American. So yes, we're getting quicker, but time's getting slower, and we can account for gravity in that way. And so I think the fact that these people were winning arguments was getting so covering some people to, I'm so sorry, some people to the movement, but the way in which they were winning, keeping people away from the movement because they were quite complex ideas. So I looked up, and there is actually a Netflix documentary out right now. And let me see, what's his name? Netflix, I don't know where I wrote that. It's The Curve. I know it's something The Curve on Netflix. And there's a book out, and it's by Eric Dubay, and it was from 2014. It's called The Flat Earth Conspiracy, the greatest cover-up of all time by NASA and Freemasons' biggest secret, that we are living on a plane, not a planet. That Earth's flat, stationary center of the universe. So Eric believes that we are living on a plane, not a globe, like right here. Let's see, what else do I want to say to you? So the evidence on the Flat Earth Society says, oh hi, love the fun, is the Earth flat? So the Flat Earth evidence says the simplest is by relying on one's own self to discern the true nature of the worlds around us. The world looks flat, the bottoms of clouds are flat, the movement of the sun, these are all examples of your senses telling you that we do not live on a spherical world. Best examples of flat earth proof is the Bedford Level Experiment, a 6-mile stretch of water that proved the surface of the water is to be flat. Now, I watched online, there was, I watched this video that's on actually the Flat Earthers website, and there's some FX designers, and they try to debunk all the footage from the moon. And they take video from the moon, and they are saying, is this FX? Was this special effects? But back when the footage from the moon came out, they weren't able to do slow motion, like when the astronauts are running on the moon and they fall. It's much longer than a minute, and the FX guys said that back then they could only slow motion for a minute, and these guys were doing slow motion on the moon for much longer than that. Cumulatively, I would say that the FX guys don't believe that it's a hoax. They believe that the moon footage was real. Before we go, because this is a short little video because I'm on vacation, but I wanted to remind you to find your light and to spend time in nature and record your sleeping dreams. I always love talking about Bigfoot, so I wanted to read something right out of this Bigfoot book that Peter Byrne wrote. Peter Byrne had sent allegedly hairs of Bigfoot to the FBI. I spoke about it on Thursday and how the FBI turned around and said that those were actually from deer, which the vet Melba Ketchum, she had sent in and had lab work done on hairs, and I believe those also claimed to be deer hair. Do I still believe Bigfoot's out there? I plan on having a Bigfoot encounter. Does anyone else want to have a Bigfoot encounter? I do. And are Bigfoots aliens, I wonder? And do they travel dimension to dimension? Maybe. So Peter Byrne, this is Peter Byrne right here. Can you see his photo? So Peter Byrne says, we are not sure where the big homoid that Native Americans have named the Sasquatch came from, but we do have the possibility of a genetic origin in the huge primate that lived in South Central China at one time, scientifically called, and I'm going to butcher this, Gigantopolis. If it walked upright, and this is not fully determined yet, it would have stood over 7 feet. That creature was real, not mythical. In an accepted fact, hundreds of fossils of bones and teeth have been recovered to date. That has lived in one area that was also original home of Native Americans, the place from which they eventually migrated across the land barrier of the Bering Strait to come into North America, the possibility that came from them and with them or not, long after them, adds something to the possibility of its being a Sasquatch ancestor and the genetic origin of the creatures of our interest. Now, you know, I've read and I've been reading about the Native American Indians, and there was trackers back in Canada found evidence of Bigfoot footprints. And since then, we've transferred the name. We call it Bigfoot. We call it Sasquatch. Sasquatch is the Native American name, which means wild man, and we call it Bigfoot. And Bigfoot is supposed to be 6, 8, 10 feet tall. He's supposed to weigh 500 to 1,000 pounds. He's has not such a great smell. He makes sounds, whoops and hollers. He travels in packs. He has blacks, no white to the eyes, only black eyes. But, you know, I don't know. They say 2,000 to 6,000 Bigfoots exist in North America. I was looking for some pictures in here. Let's see. I know that there was some great pictures in this book. Let's see. La la la, I can't find the pictures that I wanted to show you, but well, anyway, I'm going to keep reading this book, and I have more books that I plan on reading. Now, before we go, I'm really glad that you showed up today, and I wanted to just talk about dream journals and how important it is to write down our dreams, because our dreams guide us to our ultimate destiny, and we find patterns in our dreams, and we can release situations or relationships that we can't deal with while we're awake. And sometimes we have what's called a visitation, which could be from someone who's passed, and maybe it could be another entity. And most recently, like last night, I wanted to mention my dream. I had all these dreams all night long, many dreams with my father who passed away. Let's see, it was 17 years ago. And it was interesting because in the past I'd have one dream with my father, but I had all night long, I even woke up and went back to sleep, and I had dreams with my father. And it kind of made me feel safer and happier this morning, and I felt more acclimated to this environment. And I guess because I'm with my whole family today, that my father decided to show up because maybe he misses being with everyone. And it's funny how when you have someone who passed visit you in your dreams, it's almost like you have a broken circle and it comes together for me. And I spent years and years trying to figure out and trying to get on my path and heal whatever was sat inside of me and release negative energy and negativity. And the fact that my father decided to visit me all night last night through many, many dreams, at least 5 or 6, tells me that maybe I'm closer to fulfilling my dreams. And I guess part of the reason why it's important for me to do this stream is because I want to show people that they can overcome trauma, and if they feel alone, that there's someone out there who is admittingly identifying bad times that they had, and I'm willing to say that. And I can post all these beautiful pictures and how great my life is, but I always say it's just a picture. It's not necessarily real life. And it's okay to feel vulnerable. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel alone, because we all do at times. And some of the people, and sometimes people post happy situations or happy pictures because they're actually trying to feel better. So I'm here to say that it's okay if everything isn't perfect right now. We can create and manifest our own happiness. And how do we do that? So let's manifest together right now. How do you manifest? There's 3 steps to manifesting. The first step is to write down on a piece of paper. Don't share this with anyone. Write down on a piece of paper a goal, a dream, a wish that you have. Then you put that little piece of paper in your sock drawer. The second is to close your eyes, and I'd like you to visualize exactly whatever that goal or dream you have. So you want to visualize, imagine, whatever it is with all your senses. What does it look like? What does it smell like? What do you feel like? So you're creating joy. If you can create joy when you do that, for me, there's a house that I want. So I will do that with the house that I want. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to visualize the house, what it looks like, what it would be like to be there. This is how you manifest. So you're going to close your eyes and you're going to imagine and visualize whatever it is that you would like in your life. You share this with no one. It's just you. And as you visualize this, you're going to say, this is what it looks like. This is what it would be like to live there. And everything that you can imagine that would bring you joy in this goal, this dream, this wish. Now, if you can do that and you can evoke joy in your heart, in other words, you don't feel like, when you think of it, that means you can manifest it. So that's step 2. The first was to write it down, whatever it is, put it in your sock drawer. Second is to visualize it. Now the third step in manifesting is to talk about it like you already have it. So I will give you an example. My house, I'm walking up the steps in my house, and outside there's some wildflowers, and I go up to the door and I open the door, and I have my living room, and I can see it as I'm saying it. And if I can talk about it, I have a driveway that I have 2 cars parked in the driveway. Whatever it is, talk about it as if you already have it. And then the universe will bring it to you. And that's how you manifest. 3 steps. Okay? Now before we go, I just want to remind you that we have guests coming up. On Thursday, we have a guest, Evelyn, psychic from Scotland. And Friday, we have Estrella, and she's coming from Bermuda. And she is a warrior goddess. And Estrella is full of light, and she has premonitions. She will join us on Friday afternoon. So Thursday and Friday afternoon, I'll have longer streams, and we will have guests. So I hope you join us. Thank you for joining us today. I'm found at MaryAmyOfficial.com, Instagram and Facebook, Mary Amy Official. My blessings to you. Oh, by the way, I just want to say, I hope you have some patience with me, because like I said, I'm on vacation, and I did not plan to put together a stream. I wasn't thinking ahead. I was just thinking about packing my clothes, but I will not be streaming tomorrow. I will be back on Monday, and I will be back in my home streaming. My blessings to you in honor of my Scottish grandmother, Lucille. Lang me your lum reek, which means I wish you good luck and good fortune for the future. I hope you find your light. I'm here for you. Blessings to you, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy this Saturday and this Sunday. Take care. Bye.